Calimera and buenos dias, wherever you are on this fine plane. Welcome back to Soul Freedom Journeys with your hosts, Giselle and Byron. And today we'll present to you episode 14. Episode 14.
Yes,
Wow, we're already there. That's so
yes,
cool.
yes, yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome. And today's episode is all about feeling overwhelmed. How's your experience when, there's so many things happening at the same time, or maybe there are too many demands on you? Maybe you're wearing several hats at a time. Maybe you are running your business. You are being a parent. You are being, the child of your parents. Maybe a friend who is jumping into supporting another friend, and maybe all these things are happening. Or you are just not knowing what to do with everything that is happening around you because there are a lot of things that are shifting. How's your
Mm,
experience, Byron?
exactly. I don't have any immediate dependence anymore. However, being a person that works from home a lot, I tend to support my wife that way. So you didn't mention the demands of the spouse, but I give myself, those demands. Make sure that she's got her juice before she gets out of the door, or coffee if she wants it. Making sure the house is tidy, just because I'm here and she's not. So that plus working from home a lot actually creates an environment for me that it's easy for me to get to just keep working and working and working, like not putting boundaries on time. So
Mm,
that creates overwhelm as well. And it's like, oh, I have so much
mm.
to do, and like the day seems like it never ends.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we all go through that one point or another in our lives.
Hmm.
And also that overwhelm has to do with stress.
Mm.
We experience stress when we perceive, and I purposely using the word perceive, okay,
Hmm.
when we perceive that there is too much of a demand of us, like
Yes.
too many things.
Hmm.
And then we perceive that we may not be able to fulfill all these demands. And we
Yes.
want to fulfill these demands. So, feeling stress is a call for action to really address what you can do at that particular point in time. So then you can actually put your ducks in a row with flexibility, we
Hmm.
suggest,
Hmm.
with flexibility because you never know what can happen unexpectedly.
Hmm.
And as an entrepreneur, especially as an entrepreneur, maybe, well, our experience is that we may have set our ducks in a row and then something happens unexpectedly and you have to start all over again. Can you relate to this? How's that, Byron?
100%. 100%. To me, it's very often a problem of estimation.
Mm,
I overestimate the amount of stuff that I can do in a short period of time, and I underestimate the stuff that I can do in a longer period of time. So that also adds pressure. So, for example, if in a day I should only be able to produce about 8 hours worth of meaningful work, I
mm,
have the impression that I can do more. So I actually pile on more work. So even if I get 8 hours of stuff done, it's not enough because the short-term expectation is that I can do more. If I did it the other way, if I said, okay, I'm only going to aim to do 6 hours of stuff and I'll be happy with it, because there's always tomorrow and there's always there's always a longer span of time where I can get things done, then the paralysis by overanalysis disappears. And the paralysis by having too much, like feeling the time pressure, also reduces a lot. That perspective, yeah, that's a big one.
what has been one of the things that you have done to help yourself when you feel so overwhelmed?
That the thing that I turn to the most rapidly is to externalize it,
Mm-hmm.
which means either talking to somebody about it or bouncing the idea off somebody else. Like, look, I need to do this and this. What would you do first if you were me? Or I need to focus, I need to do this and this. And then they'll just question, how important is that? Oh, actually, you're right. That's not as important. Maybe I don't even have to do it.
Yeah.
So then I can focus on the important thing.
So what you're saying is that by externalizing, you are somehow doing a reality check.
Yes.
Yeah. Reality checks are so powerful
Mm.
because the thing is that sometimes our minds may just get really crazy because our critical mind wants to resolve issues, wants to answer questions, wants to get things done, right? But then sometimes that mind may get stuck in a loop of thinking and doesn't see the way to get out of it. So having somebody else's perspective, it can help to realize something. Like, for example, oh, actually, I don't have to do it exactly this way. I can ask for support. Maybe I can just relax first and then just get more mental clarity. So then you can just clear the path that way, right? So asking for support, externalizing reality check, ask for support. Another thing that I have seen this happening over and over through working with individuals and groups is that the overwhelming feeling also may happen and may show up because of an unresolved emotional issue, something that perhaps you may push aside thinking, okay, I don't want to deal with this right now because it's too stressful. Or maybe I don't have the answer for this right now. Or perhaps I just don't want to deal with this person right now. So just you put it aside and then you just carry on and carry on and carry on with your activities. But however, you have that nagging feeling inside of you that doesn't leave you because the nagging feeling is asking you to resolve that emotional issue that you have parked aside so well. And isn't it true, Byron, that sometimes we may be so efficient in parking things for a very long time? What do you say about that?
I totally agree with that. And your point is actually probably more common than what people are thinking as they hear us say this. An emotional issue doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm having a feud with my spouse, or I am, disconnected from my adult children. It doesn't have to be that, right? It could be any emotional topic. And I think our mind also, in prioritizing the work that needs to get done first, might see that as a priority. So on one hand, you say, yeah, we can get very good at parking stuff, and then you just ignore it, and then eventually catches up with you because it just festers. And then on the other hand, the intention of wanting to fix it and it's just in the front of the mind is also logical, because to us, it's like, oh, it's one thing that needs to be solved so I can have equanimity, I can have peace of mind, and I can get on with these other things. Therefore, yes, it will play in the foreground and cause a feeling of overwhelm because we want to tackle that, but we're not giving ourselves the time or the space to do it. There's an aspect of what you just said about parking of emotional issues or having those emotional issues eat at us, which I think can be extended to other things. And it's the concept that overwhelm often is caused by fear, not fear in the sense of, I'm in danger, or it's I can die. It's really FEAR, false evidence appearing real. So for example, I got overwhelmed this week with a webinar that I needed to prepare. And the reasons I got overwhelmed with it is because I initially underestimated the work that I needed to do. And then when the reality check hit, I had to do more work and I had less time to do it in. So then it's like I had this overwhelm, this attack of panic, of anxiety. So this is coming back to externalization, had I checked with the requesting party, what do I need to do exactly for this webinar? What's my scope exactly? And if I had done that 2 weeks ago when you first talked to me about it, I would have had a lot more time to get myself into it and prepare a little bit here, a little bit there. And then I would have sailed into the webinar. So I let it in my mind. It was false evidence appearing real. I didn't check with the other party, and then the situation occurred.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, Byron, because I mean, you and I, we are real. We are not, AI created, right? We are real human beings. And as oh, I gotta say that nowadays because a lot of videos, good ones, are made with, AI, you know. But the thing is that what we want to say to you, our dear viewer, listener, is that we are as real as you are, and we get to experience life like you do. We are down to earth people like you. And I really hope that you appreciate that because we're giving you the point views from life experience. And going back to the parked, unresolved emotional issues, it could be anything. It could be from a little disagreement that you may have had, say, with a significant person, maybe your spouse, partner, maybe a business partner, maybe one of your children, someone that you care about. Hmm? And if you just let that, fester like Byron explained, and you don't resolve it soon enough, it can become, well, it can have the snowball effect. Highly recommend you that you don't let things go to a snowball effect, because something that can be resolved so simply just by having a conversation, a clearing conversation, about something that is this small, it doesn't have to become this huge thing that then it becomes overwhelming. Because the perception is, oh my gosh, I let this set for too long, and I wonder if I now have the chance to sort it out. And it's a valid question to ask, right? But then, as Byron said, please take care of your equanimity, do reality checks, and then have the courage to speak up. Check. Don't let fear, as in false evidence appearing real, take over you and then make you overwhelmed and ruin your chance for doing the thing that you really can do. All right. So, having said that, we have some cards for you. I picked this one for you beforehand. This is about the chameleon, and you'll get the message in a moment. And Byron's going to pick another one for you. Let's see what Byron picks for you. This is from the Soul and Ego card sticks. Okay. All right. So then Byron's going to pick for you, okay? Yeah. Okay, Byron, pick.
And stop.
What is this? Oh, okay. It's about responsibility.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect for overwhelm.
Yeah. This is actually quite interesting. The way that these soul and ego message cards work is that you just randomly pick and the messages just match. Okay, let's read these ones first. Okay, so responsibility, responsible. It says, beloved, we encourage you to shift your perception about responsibility. Rather than thinking of it as a way to get things done, think of it as a key that opens doors of possibilities and new realities. Response plus ability is simply that. It's your ability to respond with integrity and love at any given moment, respond in alignment with your divinity. And when you do so, you will see a completely different cascade of events flowing your way. So please release the distorted view on responsibility that only gets you to not be responsible for yourself. It's not about doing or achieving, it's about being. This is the message from soul about responsibility. And ego says, look at this, responsibility, and it says someone else. And ego says, it is hard, I can't do it, later, not now. Or phrases like this, I whisper to your ears so you won't assume your own responsibility. Yes, I inspire you to shift your responsibility onto other people who are neither capable nor the best choice to do the thing. You are more than capable to do it. I don't want you to be responsible. I inspire chaos and pain in your life. You choose. The chameleon card.
Very colorful chameleon.
Yes. I downloaded this card when I was in Punta Allen in Mexico. It's one of the most beautiful, pristine places on earth. It's incredible. Really, really incredible. Okay, see, chameleon says, beloved. Okay, I will read the message from the chameleon. This is a soul card. Okay, it says, beloved, there are truthful times in your life when adapting is necessary, when flexibility is required so you can move forward. Yet, when you confuse adapting with being accepted, liked, or receiving a benefit of any kind, then the adapting becomes a hidden detriment. Then you have to stop, check, and recalibrate. Ask yourself, question number 1. What am I afraid of losing by being myself? I'll ask again. What am I afraid of losing by being myself, your true self? Number 2, is it true that the person or people you are eager to please will be kind and compassionate when you show your true self? I'll read again. Is it true that the person or people you are eager to please will be kind and compassionate when you show your true self? And number 3, do I need to hide myself behind pretty colors? Do I have to hide myself behind pretty colors? It says, meditate on me, the animal. We can actually learn a lot of things from nature, by the way, and from animals. One of the particular things about a chameleon is that the chameleon will camouflage itself by changing colors, depending on the environment, depending on who is in front of the chameleon. And it says, meditate with me and embrace the challenge's positive side. What a challenge brings you. Okay, now let's see what ego says about this. From my perspective, being a chameleon can be useful when I want you to, 1, avoid a situation, person, or people. Number 2, when I want you to keep in the loop of distraction. Number 3, keep you disconnected. You may think that you are adaptable. However, check if you are compromising. Check if you are avoiding resolving a situation. 3, check if you are fearing the truth. And number 4, check if you or who is holding judgment. No one has to hide and keep adapting when the adapting only leads you to more of the same. Trust your truth, your true beingness. That's the message from ego about the chameleon. And I really see how these messages complement each other really very, very well. And it's actually quite interesting that both messages, they relate to what we were sharing at the beginning of the video. What's your take, Romano?
There's a lot to unpack there. In fact, we could probably extend to another episode the messages from these two cards, because the whole aspect of the identity and being responsible and what are the expectations of others that you're coping with is very much in line with overwhelm and our inability to be free.
Yes, that's right. So we will do that on the next episode then.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And on episode 15, as part of mastering the feeling of overwhelm, we want to talk to you about how you can create your own reality within this bigger reality. Because there is a way out. Okay?
Yes.
And I want you to keep this in mind. Remember what Bruce Lee once said, be like water. Yeah. You got to find your way. So we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.
Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you. Ciao, ciao.